Good morning. Let us take another problem in connection with shear force and bending moment diagram. For the beam shown in figure, determine the magnitude of load P acting at C such that reactions at supports A and B are equal. And hence draw SFD and BMD. Full stop. Locate the point of contrafluxure. A loaded beam is given and it is a overhanging beam. The beam is hinged at one end and it carries a uniformly distributed load of 45 kilonewton per meter for a distance of 4 meter, and it carries a clockwise moment of 30 kilonewton meter at a distance 4 meter. The beam is supported by means of roller at the overhanged portion, and the overhang is 1 meter beyond the support, roller support. A point load P is acting at its right hand free end. For this condition, it is asked to find the magnitude of point P and hence asked to draw shear force diagram and bending moment diagram such that the reactions at the supports are equal. So we already come across this type of problem, that is hinged and roller support as it is. Whenever we come across this type of hinge and rollers, we can conveniently replace this hinge and roller by means of simple support. Let us redraw the loading diagram. Replace the hinge by means of simple support. Consider the UDL as it is with its intensity 45 kilonewton per meter. Consider couple also as it is 30 kilonewton meter. Replace roller by simple support and consider this point load P acting at point at free end as it is. Let us replace these distances. Salient points are not given. As usual, we will consider A and B for the support points. The remaining points are C at the intermediate point and D is at the last point. The speciality of this problem is it is a single overhanging beam subjected to a uniformly distributed load, a couple and a point load of unknown magnitude. Firstly, we need to calculate this magnitude of P. Based on this P value, we can draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. As it is, we can see here the unknowns. If you state the reactions at supports, let RA and RB be the support reactions at A and B. And the point load P is also unknown, 3 unknowns. Though there are 3 unknowns, directly we cannot calculate support reactions RA and RB by using the known equilibrium conditions. By using the same equilibrium conditions, we can develop 2 equations. And by using those equations and solving, it is possible to calculate the P, also the reaction at A or B, and for that we have to use the condition or useful hint given in the problem. It is asked to determine the magnitude of load P acting at this is salient point is given C and we can rename it this as D. Acting at C such that reactions at supports A and B are equal. So by using this condition and by applying equilibrium conditions, we can write 2 equations or we can develop 2 equations. Solving those 2 equations, it is possible to get the magnitude of P as well as reactions RA and RB. Once we calculate the P, magnitude of P, reactions at the supports A and B, we can comfortably draw the shear force diagram for the completed loading diagram. And next we can calculate bending moments at various salient points and we can draw the bending moment diagram. Let us calculate support reaction and the P. For that, let RA and RB be the support reactions at A and B respectively. For equilibrium, applying sigma, we apply moment equilibrium condition first. Let us apply this moment equilibrium condition about point A. Applying sigma m about A is equal to 0, that is, so this you are already familiarized with this taking moment and all. Still, let us discuss and write. Moment due to RA at point A is 0, we are not writing. And next it is a uniformly distributed load. That uniformly distributed load to be converted into a point load, and that point load will create a clockwise moment about point A. So clockwise positive, 45 into 4 is a point load acting at the midspan 4 by 2. Next, consider this clockwise couple as it is plus 30 kilonewton meter. Next, this RB will try to lift the beam in the upward direction, creating anti-clockwise moment negative, minus RB into the span is 4 plus 2 6 meter. And lastly, this P load unknown P is creating clockwise moment about point A positive plus P into 4 plus 2 6 plus 1 7, that is equal to 0. Here we have considered UDL, moment due to UDL, then this moment as it is we consider along with their sign convention positive, RB creating anti-clockwise moment negative or minus RB into 6 about point A. Lastly, this P creating a clockwise moment about point A, P into perpendicular distance 7 meter, that is equal to 0. So this is equal to 180 into 2 plus 30 minus 6 RB plus 7P, that is equal to 0. 180 into 30 it is 390 minus 6 RB plus 7P, that is equal to 0. This can also be written as 6 RB minus 7P is equal to 390, or RB minus 1.16P, that is equal to 65.65. Let us call this as equation A. So we applied the moment equilibrium condition. Let us apply another equilibrium condition. Conventionally, usually we use that first we use moment equilibrium condition, then we use the vertical force equilibrium condition. Let us use the same vertical force equilibrium condition here also, and applying sigma V is equal to 0, that is consider all the forces acting on the beam, exclude the external moment acting, that is RA minus 45 into 4 plus RB minus P, that is equal to 0, RA plus RB minus P, that is equal to, it is again 180. Now let us use the condition given in the problem. It is asked to find load P acting at C such that reactions at supports A and B are equal. So whatever the reactions we get at point A and B are equal. So when RA is equal to RB, reactions are equal, automatically it is RA is equal to RB. Since RA is equal to RB, we can write that is RB plus RB minus P is equal to 180. Therefore 2RB minus P, that is equal to 180. RB minus 0.5P is equal to, so 180 is equal to 90. Call this as equation B. So we applied the equilibrium conditions. We developed the two equations, equation A and B, because there are three unknowns. Now by solving equations A and B, so it is simple equations. Directly we can solve, as it is we can solve, or you can write equation A, B separately. By solving equations A and B, we get, if you solve equations A and B directly, RB get cancelled, we will get P. So P is equal to 37.87 kilonewton, and by back substitution, if you substitute this P value in equation B or equation A, you will get and RB is equal to 108.93 kilonewton, that's also equal to RE. So this is the major part of this problem. Asked to calculate P, that is the major. All remaining all we already calculated, we have solved the same problem. This is the major thing to be calculated, how to calculate P. For this again it requires concept. To consider it, a concept be used, and to proceed step by step by applying the equilibrium conditions. So now let us paste these values of P, RA, RB to the loading diagram. P is equal to 37.87 kilonewton. RA is equal to 108.93 kilonewton. RB is also same, it is 108.93 kilonewton. So we are at this complete loading diagram. Let us quickly draw the shear force diagram by using this loading diagram. Go up by 108 kilonewton. We know the shear force diagram for a point load going in the acting in the upward direction. It's a vertical line. Between A and D there is UDL. Convert UDL to a point load, 45 into 4, it is 180. So we are gone up by 108.93. Forcibly, if you come down linearly by 180, it will cross the reference line, and below reference line it will be 71.07 kilonewton. Next, of course at point D there is a couple, no change in shear force diagram for external moment or couple, the value remains same. Between D and B the no load, it's horizontal line, here also it is 71.07 kilonewton. At point B there is again the point force in the form of support reaction acting in the upward direction. Go up by 108, it will cross the reference line. So go above reference line by 37.87 kilonewton. Between B and C no load, horizontal line, and at point B, C there is a point load acting in the downward direction. The magnitude of point load is 37.87 kilonewton. So like this we can quickly draw the shear force diagram. You can see here shear force diagram changed its sign from positive to negative at an unknown point. Let us call this point as say E. Let this E acts at a distance of x from left support. Produce the point E to meet the loading diagram. Mark this x also in the loading diagram. So we know shear force at point E is 0. Let us write the shear force values. Shear force at A comma FA, that is equal to 108.93. Next, shear force at E, Fe0, shear force at D, Fd is equal to minus 71.07 kilonewton. Shear force at B, Fb is equal to minus 71.07 kilonewton, and 37 plus 37.87 kilonewton, it is above reference line. Lastly, shear force at C, Fc is equal to 37.87 kilonewton. That is about the shear force and shear force diagram. Now let us calculate the bending moments. Bending moment at point A, it is, if you consider forces to left hand side, no forces, no bending moment. Bending moment at A, comma MA by considering to the left hand side 0. Wherever shear force diagram changes its sign from positive to negative or negative to positive, at that point you need to calculate, or we need to calculate bending moments. Because we know that at the point where shear force diagram changes its sign from positive to negative, there is the magnitude of bending moment is maximum or sometimes minimum. In order to calculate that the maximum or minimum value, we need to calculate a bending moment. For that, if it is changing at a known point, fine. If it is changing at unknown point, that unknown point to be located from the nearby salient points. So let us calculate x distance, that is location, or calculate the position of point E from nearby salient points, point A. For that, take out the portion of the beam to the left side of E. This is for the convenience, point E, and this is our support 108.93 kilonewton. The UDL is 45 kilonewton per meter. The distance x. There shall not be any confusion that it is, I am taking the portion of the beam to the left of E. You should not be confused with this, why you are not taken this moment. No, just we consider moment is acting at point D, and we are considering the portion of the beam just to the left of E. Though this UDL is acting between A and D, we consider only the portion of the portion of this UDL, that too to the left of E. That is what we are not considering this moment. Moment is exactly acting at point D, and the UDL is also there between E and D. That UDL acting between E and D we are not considering, and this moment is not considering. We are considering only the portion of the beam to the left of the point E. We can also consider portion of the beam to the right of E also. Why we are not considering portion of the beam to the right of E at this juncture is easy purpose. If I consider all the loads to the right side of the E, there is UDL, there is another support reaction, there is one more point load. Same time, if I consider force left hand side only two, this UDL and point load, it's easy. Even instead of marking this x, you can mark x from here to here. You can mark x from here to here and consider the forces to the right hand side. This UDL, this point, this reaction, and this point load. So value will be same. Proportionately we will get another value. We will get x value somewhere here. So we will get, suppose if I consider to the right hand side, we consider another x value. So this there will be proportionate value. And bending moment will be same. Whatever the value we get, accordingly that it is whether we consider to the left hand side or to the right hand side, the bending moment calculated at point A will be same. Now, shear force at point E0, shear force at E, comma, Fe by considering forces to the left hand side is equal to 0. That is, to left there are two forces, it is a UDL and a point load. If you consider to calculate shear force, if you consider forces to left hand side, treat upward as positive, automatically downward will be negative. It is 108.93 and this downward UDL minus 45 into x, that's all. Only we are converting UDL to a point load, that is equal to 0. Solving this, you will get x is equal to 2.42 meter. So we got 2.42 meters. Suppose if we consider to the right hand side the distance of, and if you mark x from E to D, the remaining value we got 2.42 means it is 4 meter. It is 1 point something like that. So now we can easily calculate bending moment at point D. Refer the same figure, this figure, to avoid confusion. Next, bending moment at E, comma ME by considering forces to left hand side is equal to, at point E it is 108.93. This reaction will create a clockwise moment, positive 108.93 x value into x into 2.4, and this UDL will create anti-clockwise moment minus 45 into 2.42. This is point load and it is acting at the midspan into 2.42 by 2. So we will get bending moment 131.84 kilonewton meter. So this is bending moment at point E. Now let us calculate bending moment at point D. So bending moment at point D, MD by considering again forces to the left hand side. Let us consider again forces to the left hand side. If you consider to the left hand side, again only there are two forces and there is a moment here. We already know that at the external moment point we need to calculate two bending moments, and again if you consider forces to the left hand side, first we calculate bending moment without considering external moment. Next we calculate bending moment by considering the moment. This two bending moments we calculate at the external moment point in order to know the bending pattern of the beam. MD bending moment at point D by considering to the left hand side, it is reaction will create a clockwise moment 108.93 into 4, and UDL will create anti-clockwise moment minus 45 into 4, that multiplied by 4 by 2, that is equal to 75.72 kilonewton. Is it clear? It is, suppose if you calculate bending moment at the external moment point, considering forces to left hand side, first we calculate without considering moment, then with moment. So this is without considering moment, we got 75.72 kilonewton meter. Again, if you calculate bending moment at external moment point by considering moment, anyway we already calculated moment bending moment due by considering forces, it is positive 75.72, and also there is a clockwise moment at D plus 30, that is equal to 105.72 kilonewton meter. This is with moment. Next, at two more points we have to calculate bending moment. Bending moment at point B. Bending moment at point B, instead of considering forces and moment to left hand side, let us consider to the right hand side for easy purpose. To right hand side, above of course bending moment due to this reaction at point B is 0, it is not creating any moment, and bending moment is there due to this the point load acting at the free end, it is creating clockwise moment about point B. This clockwise moment will try to lift the beam in the upward direction, hogging negative. Minus 37.87 7 into 1, that is equal to minus 37.87 kilonewton meter. Lastly, bending moment at point C, by considering to the right hand side, no forces, no bending moment, 0. Now we can quickly draw the bending moment diagram by considering the calculated values at salient points. Let us produce the dotted line from point E, where the shear force diagram changed its sign from positive to negative. Draw the reference line. Bending moment at point A0, bending moment at point E, it is 131.84 kilonewton meter. .84 kilonewton meter. Next, we calculated two bending moments at point D. First, we calculated bending moment without considering moment. We got it as 75.72 kilonewton meter. It is the first value, 75.72 kilonewton meter. Next, we calculated another bending moment the same point D, and we got the value as 105.72. It is 105.72. This is 75.72. 75.72 first value. Next, second value 105.72. 105.72 kilonewton meter. Next, bending moment calculated at point B gives negative value of minus 37.87. Mark it below the reference line. 37.87. Lastly, bending moment at point C, it is 0. So we can remove the extra lines here projected. Now we can comfortably draw the bending moment diagram knowing the salient points marked. And we know the variation of bending moment for various loading condition. Bending moment diagram for a uniformly distributed load, it is a parabola between A and E. Again, between E and D also there is uniformly distributed load. Diagram is a parabola, and there is again a confusion that to which point to be connected first. From E to D to connect at, because there are two values here at point D. Whether to connect to 75.72 kilonewton or to 105.72 kilonewton. Obviously, it leads to confusion. There shall not be any confusion. Proceed in the order. In which order we calculated? First, we calculated bending moment at, of course, we calculate bending moment at D twice. Once without considering moment or once by considering moment. So, in the order, whatever the bending moment we calculated first, to that point we have to connect the line. So, first we calculated bending moment without moment, and that is 75.72. To that point you have to draw the bending moment diagram variation. It is 75.72 kilonewton meter. Next, from 75.72 kilonewton meter to 105 kilonewton, 105.72 kilonewton meter. So, we know the variation of bending moment diagram for a external moment point, it is a vertical line, go up vertically. From 105.72, after that we calculated bending moment at point B. The value was 37.87 kilonewton meter and marked below the reference line. Then join between D and B. Here there is no load between D and B, and variation of bending moment diagram is a linear line or inclined line. join the line between D and B, it will cross the reference line at an unknown point. Next, between B and C, no load. For no load, again a linear line, and bending moment at point C is 0. So like this we can complete the bending moment diagram, knowing the variations for various loading condition. So positive bending moment between A and the known point. Let us call this point as say F. Let this F acts at a distance of Y from the nearby support B. Let us project this point F to the loading diagram. Here on the loading diagram also mark it. Mark the distance Y. So we know point F. What is that point F? Point F is the point of contrafluxion. So where the bending moment is 0. Here you can see bending moment diagram changing its sign from positive to negative at an unknown point. Suppose if the same diagram change at point B or point D, so no need of marking this Y, F and all those things, because it is changed at an unknown point. You need to know that point and also its position from the nearby point. Of course, for our convenience I have selected the right hand support. Even you can consider the distance this y from point F to D, also you can take X. There you need to consider all the forces to the left hand side. I have marked to the this Y value to nearby support right hand side for my convenience, and if I consider forces to the right hand side, only there are two point forces. One is support reaction at B, another one is point load at point C. Same way, suppose if I mark this Y to the left hand side of F, I need to consider all the forces to the left hand side. When I consider forces to the left hand side, see this moment UDL, again this point load, it is a little complicated, means there is no complication. We need to consider more forces and it extends the calculation. So always to simplify the calculation so that without any mistakes we can work out the values. Next step is to locate the point of contrafluxion. Take out the portion of the beam to avoid confusion. So portion of the beam to the right hand side of F, I am taking out. It is support reaction 108.93 kilonewton. There is a point load here. The magnitude of point load is 37.87 kilonewton. So distance from B to C, it is 1 meter, and this distance from F to B, Y value, this is C. Just I consider portion of the beam to the right hand side of F, and here it is pasted. We know bending moment at point F. Bending moment at point F is 0. Write expression for bending moment at point F by considering forces to right hand side and equate it to 0. So you will get the Y value. Calculation of Y value is nothing but locating the point of contrafluxion. At what distance F is located from point B or point D. Now we know bending moment at point F. Bending moment at F, MF by considering forces to the right hand side 0. Even if you consider to the left hand side also, it is 0. That is, just you consider this figure only to avoid confusion. You can see here only two forces, one upward force, one downward force, along with their distance. So this 108.93 kilonewton acting at point B will create anti-clockwise moment. Anti-clockwise moment means anti-clockwise moment will try to bend the beam in the diagonal direction. We already discussed in detail about this. If you consider forces to the right hand side, treat anti-clockwise moment as positive and clockwise moment as negative, because anti-clockwise moment will try to bend the beam in the downward direction, clockwise moment will try to bend in the upward direction. Hogging means sagging is positive, hogging is negative. So consider anti-clockwise as positive, 108.93 kilonewton, 108.93 into y. Next, this point load, and it is creating a clockwise moment. Clockwise is negative, minus 37.87 into the total distance y plus 1, that is equal to 0. Solving this, you will get the y value, that is equal to simple equation 0.53 meters. Like this, we can calculate the unknown values, and also we can comfortably draw the shear force and bending moment diagrams systematically by using the concepts. The entire problem we used only concepts we used, and we calculated the unknown values, and we have drawn the required diagram comfortably. So we will take some more problems in the next class with the combination of loads and moments, and again for different types of beams. Thank you.